I've got a question, dear listener. What do you think of online dating? Are you glued to your phone all day, swiping left and right in the hopes of finding a connection? Well, you're not alone. Dating in the digital age can really suck, and these stories prove just how bizarre and terrifying it can get. From unexpected family encounters to petting zoo disasters and the quiet sadness of random hookups, join us as we dive into 3 eerie tales that show the darker side of modern dating. What are we supposed to do? It is what it is. Let's get into these chilling stories that might make you think twice before your next swipe.
Story 1: The Unexpected Engagement Party. Since my breakup, I've been trying to fill the void with random hookups. It's strange. Despite not even knowing some of these people on a first-name basis, I'm starting to realize I still have feelings for them. What does this even mean? I guess it's because I haven't hooked up with random people in over 10 years, but now I've been meeting a lot of them. While it's fun in the moment, I often feel empty afterward, missing my ex-partner. I keep hoping we'll get back together and start anew, but for now, these hookups have been my escape. However, I can't shake the quiet sadness or unease I sense in the people I'm meeting. It's almost as if they're also empty-hearted, just like me. I've noticed that many people are in open relationships today, and it makes me sad. I was monogamous for 10 years, and now I'm questioning if these open relationships are why I sense this need for validation among them. I feel the same way. I need validation more than a hookup. It just feels good to know someone else wants you. A few years ago, I met a guy on Tinder. He was really handsome, genuinely nice, and funny. We chatted for a while, and he asked me to go on a date, saying we could get some food. The day of our date arrived, and he drove an hour to pick me up. He was even more handsome in person, and our conversation flowed effortlessly. I thought to myself, man, he's great. On our way to get food, he mentioned that his friends were having a barbecue and asked if we could stop by for a second. This was my first time meeting him, and I wasn't keen on meeting his friends yet, but I agreed. We arrived at a lovely house, full to the brim with people. He introduced me to loads of people, and before I knew it, I was talking to his mom and grandma while he was off drinking with his friends. It turned out this wasn't just a barbecue, it was his sister's engagement party. I couldn't believe it. I had just met this guy, and now I was meeting his entire family: parents, siblings, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, and friends. We all went to the local pub where his grandma had a Coyote Ugly moment on the bar while a band sang Zombie by the Cranberries. It was surreal. By the end of the night, he was too drunk to drive me home, and in his drunken state, he told me he loved me and that he had never felt like this about anyone before proceeding to vomit on my shoes. To top it off, his ex-girlfriend was there and kept calling me a homewrecker. This guy was 29 and I was around 20. It was honestly the weirdest night of my life. I ended up calling a friend to come pick me up. As I sat in my friend's car, replaying the bizarre events of the night, I couldn't help but feel a pang of sadness. The night was a stark reminder of how lost and empty I felt. Since then, I've deleted Tinder and never spoke to the guy again. While the hookups and dates provide a temporary distraction, they also amplify the sense of emptiness. I long for genuine connection and validation, but in the end, these encounters only leave me feeling more alone. I'm starting to realize that what I truly need is to reconnect with myself and heal from my past before I can find meaningful connections with others. Until then, the journey continues, filled with unexpected and often bewildering moments. Story 2, Friendship Cuddles. The breakup left me feeling like a hollow shell, but recently I've found a surprising distraction. I met a cool guy named Ethan, and he's been helping me not think so much about my recent heartache. It's almost been a nice escape, stepping out of my comfort zone in various ways. We've even gone out for drinks in the middle of the day, something I never thought I'd do. Ethan has an intriguing job where he teaches CEOs to discover their dreams and how they can change the world. His passion is infectious, and his presence has brought some much-needed light into my life. We've hung out a few times now, and though it's just a friendship, he often asks for friendship cuddles. I'm fine with it, but I do smack him away when he tries to get fresh with me, sort of like one of those old 50s movies where the girl is a prude. He seems innocent enough, though, and honestly, it feels good to be close to someone again. One evening, Ethan came over to watch movies. The comfort of his company made me feel less lonely. We sat close on the couch, and after a while, he suggested the cuddles. I agreed, feeling a sense of normalcy and warmth that had been missing for so long. We put on a classic horror movie and settled in. As the night wore on, something felt off. Ethan's grip around me grew tighter, almost possessive. I shrugged it off, thinking it was just my anxiety playing tricks on me. The movie ended, but he didn't move. He just sat there, staring at the blank screen, his breathing shallow and uneven. "Are you okay?" I asked, trying to break the unsettling silence. He turned to me, his eyes reflecting a strange intensity. "Have you ever wondered what it would be like to really connect with someone? To share everything?" A chill ran down my spine. "What do you mean?" His smile was eerie, almost too wide. "I mean, really share everything. Your thoughts, your dreams, your fears." Before I could respond, he reached into his bag and pulled out a small, old-fashioned box. "I want to show you something." Hesitantly, I watched as he opened the box, revealing a set of polished silver needles and a small vial of dark liquid. Panic started to bubble up inside me. "What is that?" "It's a way for us to truly connect, to see into each other's souls." His voice was calm, almost soothing, but the words sent a wave of terror through me. I tried to pull away, but his grip was like a vice. "Ethan, this isn't funny. Let me go." His eyes never left mine as he dipped one of the needles into the vial. "You'll understand soon. It's a beautiful experience." Desperation fueled my strength, and I managed to push him off me, scrambling to my feet. "Get out of my house." He stood up slowly, his expression unreadable. "You're not ready yet, but you will be." With those chilling words, he left, leaving the box on my coffee table as a grim reminder. I locked the door behind him, my heart racing. The reality of what had just happened started to sink in, and I felt a wave of nausea. The box remained untouched, a sinister presence in my living room. Over the next few days, I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Shadows seemed to move on their own, and I swore I could hear whispers in the quiet moments. I blocked Ethan's number, but the unease persisted. One night, as I was drifting off to sleep, my phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. "You will be ready soon." Fear clenched my heart as I realized Ethan wasn't going to give up. The sense of normalcy and warmth he brought had been a facade, masking something much darker. The nightmare was far from over, and the shadows in my life were closing in. Story 3. The Petting Zoo Debacle. I've been spending a lot of time with this new guy, Alex. He's super sexy, and tells me he loves hooking up with me because I'm so passionate. Hearing that made my day. He's a bartender, and sometimes he comes over in the afternoons after being out all night. We have some fun, and it's a great distraction from the messiness of my dating history. Every date I've ever been on has felt like a disaster in my head, but one, in particular, stands out as a spectacular fail. I thought it would be fun to go to a petting zoo with this woman I was seeing. It was different, quirky, and conveniently close to where we both lived. The day started off lovely, and we were enjoying the array of animals. Everything was going smoothly until it was time for the interactive petting session. The zoo had laid out lumps of carpet for people to sit on while they brought out the animals one by one. There weren't enough kids around, so I ended up with my own carpet and a seat. The animals started coming out: snake, spider, lizard, bunny. Each one got its turn, and I was managing okay, trying to keep my cool. But then it was my turn, and they brought out a rat. Now, I don't have many phobias, but rats are my one crippling fear. Just the sight of it made my skin crawl, and I immediately turned into a nervous wreck, much like Alan Partridge in one of his awkward moments. What followed was an embarrassing standoff with the zookeeper, who was trying to hand me the rat. I couldn't bring myself to touch it. I felt all eyes on me, including those of my date, who was watching this unfold with a mixture of amusement and concern. To make matters worse, a young boy, no older than 6, stepped up bravely. He asked to swap the bunny he was holding for the rat. The zookeeper obliged, and there I was, outdone by a child, looking like a complete fool. The boy handled the rat without a hint of fear, while I stood there, feeling my face flush with embarrassment. My date tried to stifle a laugh, but couldn't hide her amusement. I felt my confidence shatter, having my bravado handed to me by a kid. The rest of the date was a blur of awkward conversation and forced smiles, my mind replaying the humiliating scene over and over. As I sit here now, reflecting on that day, I can't help but laugh at the absurdity of it all. It's funny how life's most embarrassing moments have a way of sticking with you, yet they also become stories you can't wait to tell. Meeting someone new always brings a mix of excitement and terror, but moments like these remind me that it's all part of the journey. These days, hooking up with Alex feels like a world away from those awkward dates. The passion, the chemistry, and the ease we have with each other are refreshing. While the petting zoo incident is a tale of my past disasters, it also serves as a reminder that sometimes stepping out of my comfort zone, even if it leads to embarrassment, is what makes life interesting. And who knows, maybe these spontaneous, passionate afternoons with Alex will lead to something more. Or maybe they're just a beautiful escape from the ordinary. Either way, I'm embracing the ride.